Hey guys, what's up? This is Edgemeister, and today I'm going to talk about my wish list for the Halo 5 Guardians Forge. Now, today IGN actually released 2 Forge maps that will be available in the Halo 5 beta. Actually, only one of them will be available. We'll have to vote on that when the bulletin comes out. They are Orion and I believe Pegasus. Now, I've actually watched Duquesne23's video on the topic, and he was talking about some things. I just didn't bother reading the article, so I'm just gonna assume that what he said is accurate about Forge as well, which I believe he said that pieces that, like terrain pieces, are coming back, as well as directional lighting and different palettes. So let's talk a little bit about the maps. I think that they look amazing, and I know people said this about Halo 4. People also said this about the Master Chief Collection, is that, oh, the maps look like they're on-disc maps. And later on, when we actually get our hands on the Forge, we find that not to be the truth. I feel that when the companies make Forge, whether it be Bungie, 343, or Certain Affinity, which honestly I don't think 343 has made Forge at all yet, because they've made Certain Affinity made 4s and Master Chief Collection, so I don't think 343 Industries has made Forge yet. So this might be their first Forge, unless it's revealed that Certain Affinity has created this Forge again. But I don't think they did, because they'd be working the Master Chief Collection. Halo 3's Forge wasn't originally meant to be a map creator. I said that kind of weird. Creator. It just turned out that way. But the sandbox pieces I always thought looked amazing for Forge. Halo Reach's Forge, it was all too much gray with a little bit of glass here and there. Halo 4's Forge is all too white or beige with a little bit of black here and there. And Master Chief Collections is just not enough texture. However, Halo 5, it seems like they have a perfect amount of texture, and I don't know, it just looks amazing. I cannot wait to make all these maps. The only thing is white. As I've learned from Halo 4, white looks good at the beginning, but eventually you can't really make too many things look cool with white. However, they did, well, I say they, I'm crediting Duquesne, because I don't want to read because I'm lazy, about the multiple Forge palettes. Now, I don't know what this exactly means, but I'm assuming that there's going to be a human palette, a Covenant palette, and a Forerunner palette. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I think that might be asking for too much, but lately it seems that Halo's just been doing all the things that I want, which is amazing. By the way, in the gameplay, I actually shot right through the shield. You can actually take down the shields if you didn't know. Actually, I may not have taken down that shield, I don't know. But yeah, just as well, I think that they're probably going to be adding everything that they added into the Master Chief Collection. So I already said the terrain pieces, as well as scripting, they're probably going to add in and stuff like that. Another thing that Duquesne said, I'm just going to say everything he said right off the bat, is talking about the lighting. What he said is it's probably going to be a time of day. What I think is it's going to be more of actual lights. Lights have always been kind of an interesting aesthetic in maps, but they didn't really do too much. But maybe they're going to add lights that will actually make shadows, and this is amazing, because ever since Halo 4, if you've wanted to make an indoor map, then you kind of just want to turn off the lights, because they're kind of extremely annoying. They just make everything way more dark than it has to be. And yes, there is that trick where you can have objects spawn in after the map has started, so that they don't generate lighting. That's still a thing with Master Chief Collection, but it's really, really painful to have to add spawn time on every single one of your pieces. People are willing to do it though, because they hate lighting that much. So if they can add lighting within their indoor maps and actually make it look good, then that will be really, really awesome for Forge maps, and it'll make all the indoor maps look so much better. Next up, I think I pretty much said everything. Oh, also I was going to talk a little bit about terrain. It looks like within the gameplay we've seen at least that there's actual terrain built, like a Forge world almost, like actual terrain, not like the Master Chief Collection maps where they're complete open canvases. Actual terrain. Now, there's people that love the custom terrain editor. Well, not editor. It's very, very limited, but you can actually do a lot with it. Is a custom terrain pieces. I honestly don't like them. I'd rather have pre-built terrain because it just looks, well, more natural. But I think adding in both actual terrain and the ability to create terrain would probably be the best of all worlds, because really you want sorry, I had to cut that out. My brother came in like he's a dick, started humping me. Why would a brother do that? Like, seriously. Anyways, I was saying it's really the best of all worlds, because there's the people who like the custom terrain, there's people who like the pre-built terrain. For a while there I was thinking that, you know, they're not going to please all the fans. But really what I was thinking is they wanted to find like a middle ground, and I think that Master Chief Collection created that middle ground, but I don't really honestly think so. But yeah, I think the middle ground is just to add all of them in, the pre-built terrain and the custom terrain. Not to mention, for the people who really want the flat stuff, there's probably still going to be the grass pane, I think, grass pane. Wow. Yeah, I just think that'd be the best. Next up is going to be my wish list. Something I really, really want to do is have a Forge test game type where you will be able to forge and have people play on your map at the same time. Now you may be thinking, you can already do that, but really there's so many people who just want to cheat and go in forge mode. Also, they'll be able to see where the spawns are and all the kill zones. What I really want is a map that will let me not only have players play and not be able to go into forge mode, but also not see spawns or kill boundaries. I want it to be like they're complete custom games, then I'm a complete god in Forge, so that I can communicate with them and have them tell me input and feedback, or I can see what they're talking about. Maybe have it so it's team based, like if one person, like one team, like team chat, like in matchmaking, but have it so that the person in Forge mode can hear both the team chat. And maybe even switch between the team chat so they can talk to a specific team, asking them their opinions of the map so far. And if they have anything wrong with the map, we don't have to wait till the playtest is over. We can add stuff during the playtest and just start a new round as a new game. I think that would make map making just so much more amazing and awesome. And I mean, yes, you can already play, but just adding those extra little things would be amazing for Forge, and I just love it, because it takes so much time to test maps, and I just rather have the map testing and the map building all in the same process, just making it a lot better. Another thing I would really like is just to be able to turn off lighting at all. I know I said that indoor maps would look a lot better with the built-in lighting, but I can see that causing maybe some lag. It'd be really sweet if we could just, you know, turn off lighting. And mine just came to my head after watching my breakout gameplay. It's gonna be a little, my audio is gonna be a little bit behind of the gameplay because I cut that little part out when my brother came in and started being annoying. But I think that the breakout map could be could still be a Forge map. Talking about the different palettes, they could have a palette that looks just like this, and have this be a different Forge map. So people thinking, oh, this isn't going to be a Forge map because they've released Pegasus and Orius. Is that right? I keep forgetting. Is that Oracle? It's different. But yeah, it could be. This could just be a different palette, which would be really sweet. And I think that's about it. There's probably a lot more on my Forge list, my wish list for Forge, but I think that's gonna be about it. Let me think real quick about more. And I'll cut this again until I see if I have more. If not, I'll just say bye. I remember what I wanted. This is something that I've wanted since Reach, and that is a select tool where maybe I will be able to select multiple blocks all at the same time so that I can rotate them and just make it really easy symmetrical map. Just imagine that, building one half of a map, maybe taking one, maybe press like a mirror key, rotate it, and have it fully symmetrical. Like, wouldn't that be amazing? Like, you wouldn't have to worry about maybe one half having some problems with symmetry. You wouldn't really have to worry too much of using edit coordinates so that everything would be perfectly symmetrical. You wouldn't have to worry about maybe missing a couple pieces here and there. It'd just be, you'd select multiple blocks. I wouldn't think it'd be like selecting on Windows where you take your mouse and drag, because I don't think that would work in 3 dimensions. I think what would work better is if you were able to select each piece individually, or select each piece within an area. So let's say there's a building you want, but you don't want the weapons in it. You could select all the building pieces but not the weapons and clone that. Because I think that would just be really cool. I think it would also be really cool just to be able to save structures and spawn them in. Structures would be like different combinations of blocks that you would put together, and yeah, that would be really cool. Just imagine that. You'd have, let's say, a wall coliseum and a warthog on it, and you'd be like, every time I want a wall coliseum I want a warthog. So you take that, you save it under your structures, and then in another Forge map you'd say, I think I need to add a wall coliseum with warthog. So you go under your custom structures and you click on your custom named block, which I could see a lot of people naming, like, oh, this is my 69 block or whatever, and you click on that and you get your wall coliseum with your warthog. Of course, you could be more in depth with that, like maybe you'd have a special kind of building, like maybe like a beach house, or maybe you'd have a really cool hill that you made out of terrain pieces that you want to use in a couple of your maps, or maybe you're doing a remix map like what Halo 5's doing, and you could make your own custom Forge map and save it as a structure, so you could spawn in an entire map, change some things up, and remix it. Of course, you could always just save your map, remix it, and save it as another map, but maybe you'd want to... maybe a really cool remix idea would be to have 2 versions of your map. Maybe your original map is a 2v2 map, and you want to make it a 4v4, so you'd edit it, copy and paste it, and have 2 versions of your 2v2 map put together and make a giant symmetrical map, which would be really interesting. I was always thinking about, what if we had like a dual pit, where the pit would be copied and pasted and reversed, and you'd have 4 of those sniper towers, and the rocket launcher would be dead metal. I was always thinking how that would play out, and I think that'd be really interesting. And I think if somebody made a Forge remake of the pit, they could do it. They could copy and paste it and make a fully symmetrical, 4-way symmetrical, the pit, which would be really cool. Of course, you wouldn't have 4 sniper rifles. You'd have 1 on each corner, and you'd have people spawning in each corner instead of, across from each other. But I think that'd be really cool to be able to select multiple blocks. I think that'd be one of the coolest things in Forge. I think everybody would love that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
One minute.